Hey guys, it's me again. I'm going to be doing a psychic reading on Leonardo DiCaprio. Um, I didn't really know he was still relevant until somebody requested that I do a video on him, but whatever, hopefully you guys are interested. Alright, let me just get a picture of him. So, just for people that are new here, I am a psychic medium. My most predominant gift is reading past lives. Um, Usually, when I do these readings, I'll see an array of past lives that have led up to where the person is today and, just give some story on where they've been, past lives, like all that stuff. Yeah, and really just whatever spirit wants to tell me. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing a very... Alright, as soon as I tune into... This is a really bad picture. How do girls think that this guy is cute? He is so not cute. And he looks like he's short. Is he short? I'm looking for the best picture, guys, sorry. Alright, I found one. This is not gonna surprise you guys. This is the picture that I am tuning into right now. If you guys can see it, I can, maybe I'll put a picture of him up. So as soon as I tune into his soul, I'm seeing he's had a past life in Atlantis, which is where I consider myself from. This is where I feel like as far as I could see back in my past lives, my first life was in Atlantis. So I'm seeing that Leonardo DiCaprio was actually a god in Atlantis. If you guys want more information on that, I have a video up. I can definitely do another video, but I do notice that a lot of celebrities that are not actually celebrities, a lot of politicians that are from the United States do actually have origins in Atlantis. So something to consider. Alright, I know a lot of you guys are here for reading on Leonardo DiCaprio, and you guys might not really understand, how we were in advanced civilizations, and, perhaps if I say something like, I see him with a sword, he has a tail, he was actually a god, but this is what gods looked like back then. Some of them were not exactly all human, they were half creature, half human. It was just like that. So I'm seeing he was a god, he had a lot of power, and so he has the same kind of mentality that I was born with, meaning that both of us coming from advanced civilizations, I know I'm like throwing myself in here, but I just want you guys to understand, back in these advanced civilizations, and even in the Bible, if you really read it, we were not really designed or expected to carry on monogamous relationships. So he is kind of the type of person, he has strong masculinity, but he is not a monogamous person. He believes in polyogamy, whatever, how do you say it? This is just his beliefs. It's not even, it's nothing about like what's happened in this life. This is all stuff carried on from his past life in Atlantis, especially since he is a person that's had a lot of power and had a lot of lovers, or he's had a lot of lovers in Atlantis, which he's attracted from all his power. I see that he's kind of carried on the same stigma about him today. And I'm going to go into that once I'm done with the past life reading, and then we're going to go into now. Yeah, so I'm definitely seeing, predominantly spirit is showing me, and usually when I see past lives in Atlantis, this is the only past life that I'll see because there's so much information that comes just from that. It would be too much of an overload of information if I looked into just three-dimensional lives. This is the one that usually comes through as the most informative. So, in his past life in Atlantis, I see that he was kind of a leader. He had a lot of esoteric knowledge. I do see that there's a lot of masculinity in him. So, you know, from this life, what he's passed on to now is all the power. He's used to being in power. He's a very, very confident person. I don't see a stretch of insecurity in Leonardo DiCaprio, and I think from what the pictures show, he's not that cute. He's not even that tall. But there is not even a stretch of insecurity in him. Gonna see. He's used to bossing people around. He's used to having his way. He's kind of superficial in a way, meaning that he really only goes for glamour, but it's not even in like the way that men will do it to say, oh well, I got this hot chick. He really doesn't give an F. This is more of a conquering thing, that it's feeding his mentality more so than what it appears to the media. He really doesn't give a shit about what the media thinks. Honestly, tuning into his now life, he really feels like the media, he's way beyond the media. He doesn't even want he doesn't even want narcissistic attention from the media. He's so like grounded in his own feet and knows who he is and self-assured, and this, I feel like, in society is viewed as a positive thing. No. Leonardo DiCaprio has a lot of dark energy to him, and a lot of this dark energy has been passed down from his past life in Atlantis, from those ages, and to really understand what I'm talking about, you can definitely check out that other video that I posted, or I could post a brand new one talking about the way civilization was in Atlantis, and how it was so different from where we are now on a three-dimensional level, basically, where we are now. Yeah, there's a lot of toxic masculinity in Leonardo DiCaprio. He, and there's a lot of things that are funny thinking back. If we think back to like what psychology really tells us today about narcissists and all that stuff, and I know all of it because I am in a psych graduate program, but he really just does not, and a lot of people that were high up in Atlantis really don't conform to any of these signs, whereas a narcissist would feel like any attention is good attention. He's really not like that. He's doing this all mentally. He's so strong in his mind. He's such a strong-minded person that he really doesn't need the attention from the media. He really doesn't need any of that attention, any of that validation. He is so like implanted in himself. All he really needs is power. He needs that power for himself, not for anybody else. Doesn't care about what other people think. I don't want to say he's an energy. He's vibrating at such a high level that it would be kind of hard to, unless you could really tune into, how do I say this? Okay. He's vibrating at such a high level that what he's doing is not theoretically approved in society at this time period in 2019. It's really not, you know, like, people don't really accept it, and things that he does, behaviors that he may display, it could come off as, oh, that person's a narcissist, or he's a psychopath, or he's sociopathic. And he might fill in some of those boxes, but it's just really not really understood in today's society. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of incarnated beings that come from advanced civilization, or that don't really partake in the human form in general. Like, and even with these women, I feel like back then the power really wouldn't have came from the woman, but since he is now in 2019 on a three-dimensional level, he really tries to get that power from women. Whereas before it would be like, okay, you know, he was a god, he was like one of those people that they make statues into. That was his soul type back then. Whereas now he's like, how do I get this power back? How do I get this, you know, that missing link that a lot of people, a lot of incarnate souls really look for when they come here. You hear a lot about starseeds who never feel like they're from this planet. Well, even if you're from an advanced civilization or really identify as, you know, something that's not really taking in human form, it's really hard to fill that missing link. And I feel like now in 2019, I feel like he does that by making what in his mind would be considered small conquerors. He really doesn't care about women or like sleeping with women. This is a person that really doesn't have it. I don't really see any love in him. Things are very egotistical. His main concern is power. And I've seen pictures of him when he was younger. I don't really even feel. I feel like this is something that's really just came more with age, but it was a dark part of him. It was like a layer of him that's really manifested in full capacity now while he's, I don't know, old. I really don't know how old is he. Let me see what else I'm getting. So there is, like I said, we all have duality. I don't really believe people change. So I do see two parts of him. There's a part that's very childlike. Still honestly feels like he's, 21 out here being a little Leonardo DiCaprio. But while he's growing, his mind is aging, and it's aging in such a way where he's not really concerned about love, finding a wife, or like, just stuff that people that are older say is worthwhile or meaningful. His concerns are more power. That's really where his life has taken him. How much power? I need the power. It's always been inside him, but there was a more innocent part of him that took place when he was younger, and this is what we always see with anybody. Now mostly he really just, his main concern is the power, gaining power, having power over people, feeling powerful. That's what he really wants to manifest for the rest of his life, rather than having traditional values. So, yeah, he's deep rooted in Atlantis, seeing used to having a lot of power. Same thing is manifested today. And I'm gonna get another picture of him just so I can see what else is going on here. So, since yes, he has this life in the past life in advanced civilization, he is obviously human now, obviously, and with society giving us all these values and what we should have and do, there's definitely a lot of inner conflict within him. I see there's a conflict of, do I really want to be powerful? And he's exhausted his sexual leverage to the point where he really doesn't associate sex with love, and for him to get back into a place where he can really open his heart up to somebody, I do see he's straight. He's very straight. In order for him to open his heart up to somebody, it's kind of damn near impossible, and I feel like there's a part of his soul that's very upset and depressed by this, and this part of the soul is the childlike part of him, where who's kind of vulnerable. He was kind of vulnerable. This part of him is not really being expressed. I guess this would be considered his shadow part of him now. This part of him is not really being expressed, and due to that, he's very depressed, and I feel like he's gaining anxiety about where his life is going at this point forward. He still indulges in things that he makes him feel like he needs to be powerful, but right now his ego is so large that he really doesn't know how to control it, and in turn he's kind of self-destructive in that way. Yeah, I'm seeing he has depression and just overall sadness. I do feel like he misses home. He's like, it kind of goes through that feeling of, I don't really fit in this society. I don't know how to cope. Yeah. Very self-assured though. He's definitely seeing that he has some type of esoteric roots. I'm not going to expose 100% of them. He's just honestly, from a long time ago, from a past life, he's made a, agreement with himself that this is going to be his sole purpose throughout generations, I mean lifetimes and lifetimes. He is going to manifest as needing to be the powerful one, and although in his heart he really can't open up and really find somebody and love somebody, his main concern, and this is very, very like, this is more of a soul agreement that he really hasn't fulfilled yet. That's why it keeps manifesting. He needs to feel like he's the powerful one, and until he learns the lessons that he needs to learn from this, he's really gonna just be, more concerned about ego than finding love and, um, positive things in life to cope. So, very strong energy, strong Atlantis energy. Honestly, he objectifies women a lot. He's very like, listen, this is what it is. Not even that. Just very dominant person. Really only uses women for sex. I feel like he's tried. Like, there's a part of him that has like a minuscule amount tried to like be with a woman and like open up to her and like, but it's such a small part that it never would have manifested anyway, and it has nothing to do with the woman that he's been with. It's really about him not really understanding how to fully like, sorry, I was gonna sneeze, how to really fully integrate all the parts of him. How to really fully integrate all the parts of him, together so he can really just be happy basically and live a fulfilling life, whereas he feels like he's basically a slave to his own mind now. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed the reading. I know that was kind of long. As for love, I really don't see him getting, if he does get married, I see that it's really not going to be more than a shallow marriage. I don't really see him getting that deep with anybody. I really hope he does, though. I really hope he really solves his issues and is able to get married and, have children and be happy in life. But I just feel like where his soul is at right now, it's going to be very hard to erase all those years and lifetimes of conditioning. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope I answered all your questions, and comment below who you guys want me to do next, or if you guys would like a reading of your own. I'll put my Instagram below. You can DM me. Alright guys, bye.